viewers. A segment of science with zoologist Allan, and I'm glad to take you through this voyage, and it's a voyage on my pets. And in doing this, I want to ensure that everyone take it upon themselves to at least have a pet in order to show some care and love to animals. There is a composition I came up with, or I call it a quote. In that quote I said, if you cannot take care of lower animals, then you are not capable of love. So what am I trying to say in essence? We need to show concern and care for our environment, the plants and animals that are all around the environment, because we form part of the environment and we interact with these living things and non-living things on a daily basis, which forms the ecosystem. So join zoologist Allan as I take you through my pet. I take pride in taking care of animals as a zoologist. Okay, here with me is Angelo. Angelo is 4 years old from when it was a baby. I've trained it up to this level, as you can see, and I named him that from my experience in watching Turtle Ninja when I was a little boy, say 27 to 28 years ago. Now, I want to talk about this turtle and its various parts, then I'll move on to other aspects. So this is the ventral part, and we call the shell the plastron. The plastron shell is not as hard as the one behind, which is called the dorsal shell. Now the plastron helps it to cushion itself in water when it swims. It also serves as a means of protection from abrasion or some harmful substances when it submerges itself in water that's down beneath the bottom of water. Also, we have the dorsal part. The dorsal part is simply same as the back view. Now, the dorsal shell is called the carapace. The carapace is so hard, harder than the plastron or the ventral shell. It protects it from desiccation, it protects it from harm, it protects it from unfavorable weather conditions. Then I have the anterior part, which is the head region. As you can see here, Michelangelo's head is looking right at you. It has the eyes, the nose, the nostril for taking in oxygen, especially in water, dissolved oxygen. Then I have the posterior part. Alright, talking about feeding. Since I've taken it out of its natural environment when it was a baby from a freshwater habitat, I have constructed an artificial aquarium for it. And how do I get to feed it? It feeds on what I call commercial turtle pellets. It also feeds on fish pellets. It feeds on earthworms, coated insects or simply insects. It feeds on some vegetables. It feeds on small fishes and snails. Okay, so that's what I've been feeding Michelangelo with, and it has grown big. Right now it is 4 years old from the day of delivery. Okay, talking about integuments, like I said earlier, it possesses a shell at its dorsal part and at its ventral part. The shell at its ventral part is called the plastron, while the shell at its dorsal part is called the carapace. The carapace at the dorsal part is harder than the plastron, and this gives it protection from different hazards and unfavorable conditions in the environment, especially when it swims in water. When a predator preys on it, it quickly goes into its shell and the predator can no longer have access to its delicate body. By so doing, it stays alive in its habitat, and we call this special adaptation method. So it's a behavioral adaptation, and it's also a structural adaptation method of survival in its environment. So I just want to say here that taking care of animals is quite interesting, and it's something that gives you ecstasy, and there's quite a lot of enthusiasm taking care of animals. And I want to generalize by saying, in our environment, we need to take care of plants and animals in order to keep our environment safe and sound for our future generations. Get a pet, learn about its lifestyle, study about its feeding habits, its adaptation method, and its survival methods, and that will help you to train loads of animals. So it is bye from Mr. Allan, and I would like to see you in my next segment.
Alright, it's Zoologist Allan once again. Welcome back from that wonderful timeout with me. This is a short demo of Michelangelo trying to eat a crumb of bread. He submerges downwards and comes back upwards, and in no time he gets to finish the crumb of bread when you observe. So happy viewing. This happens to be his change container where his water is transferred and changed to a better and clean water to enable dissolve oxygen and a convenient environment. Okay, so when you watch closely, he keeps submerging and coming back up. Submerging means going down the bottom of water, then it will emerge, that's coming to the surface to take a bite, and he continues to do this until it reaches its full feeding capacity per time.